keeps going around. And we can actually produce methane for fuel, for process heat to make biofuel, and at the same time create clean water. We can clean up that sewage to drinking water level using natural systems like hyacinth and cattails. Corn, you get 400 gallons at best per acre out of alcohol for fuel. Cattails, 10,000 gallons per acre. All right, so you can see some wetlands cleaning up water, producing these huge, massive, starchy tubers that are great fuel for alcohol. We're concerned, we've disrupted all of these gas cycles, these air gas cycles. Carbon is not the only one, that's just the one that they've identified to make money with. But the nitrous oxide, methane, water vapor, it's all because there's not enough water in the soil, there's not enough carbon in the soil. That's why those systems are disrupted. We screwed with the soil. We're still screwing with the soil. Here we go, you know, chewing up the rainforest as we go. These are sustainable lifestyles in here, but that's not. And so we know that regenerative farming here, if you get enough carbon in the soil, it eats CO2. That's what it does. It draws CO2 out of the air and balances that air, soil, gas relationship. And it'll do it for all of them because it's life that creates the fertility. And it's life that does the balancing, right? I mean, have you ever heard of the Gaia hypothesis by a scientist, a chemist named Lovelock? He was looking at our solar system and looking at all the planets in the solar system and said they're all chemically stable. Every one of them, except Earth. It should have burned up. I don't understand. What is it about Earth? Well, it's a living system. It's cycling all the time. So it doesn't burn up because it's got a cycling, balancing thing going on. It's a living system, and unlike any of those other planetary systems. Oh, this is, I wanted if you got too many ticks, you don't have enough chickens. If you got too much carbon in your air, you don't have enough carbon in your soil. If you got too much nitrous oxide in your air, you don't have enough nitrous oxide in your soil. But the natives in South America figured out how to grow soil. And they created the terra preta soils, which are the most fertile soils in the world, and that's because they're so full of life. And that's because they put carbon into it. You've heard of biochar? That's one of those geoengineering ideas, but the natives did it many centuries ago, millennia ago, and discovered that what carbon does is provide condominiums for the fertility, all of those microbes that live in the soil. There's 400 gram of carbon. There's 400 square meters of surface area in that because it's got a fractal structure to it. And so those things, when you put biochar into your soil like those natives did, the life occupies it and creates very fertile soil because then they reproduce and they keep producing more and more. Yeah, moving on is, where am I? Time-wise. Am I done?
15 minutes.
15? Okay.
You got a little extra because the tape was quick.
Okay, you do it quick. So I've already said this, look for Elaine Ingham if you want to read about soil life. Because what we do right now, we feed the plants, trying to grow the plants. We put fertilizer, that's for the plants, it's not for the soil. But if we fed the soil would grow the plants. We wouldn't have to feed the plants because the soil does it. And you wouldn't have weeds. You wouldn't have to do herbicides anymore. They've already proven that too, because weeds are for building soil. If you've got good soil, you don't have weeds. Consult the genius of the place. And that's what Elaine Ingham and other researchers at permaculture are doing. Because we can create local, we can grow 10 times the food with 1/10 of the water by doing local organic food systems. And we can build better local economies. And this is all about economies and the money, we're gonna learn about all of that. John Howell's gonna tell us all about that. And then we got, but I always like to say, well, what happens when the pump and dump system, the pump and dump system, that's the business cycle, right? It's a pump and dump scheme, basically. So we pump up a bubble, and then it collapses, and then, the banks, they made some money on its way up, right? Did they lose money on it? No, they got the collateral, they got the real wealth out of it. And then blow up another one, keep pumping out the wealth. Anyway, here we go with, I am looking, and if anybody could find an up-to-date one, I'd like to see a graph. Stops at 2006, but I'd like to see it going out to 2016 to see where'd this go, where'd this go, where'd this go. I always talk about government debt being a problem, but it looks to me like there's a problem. And, where does all the money go? Well, here's the interest going here. Now, these are the only people that pay less interest than they get. Everybody else pays throughout the economy. Everybody pays interest more so than what they get. Okay, so Jamie's asked, I don't want to do this. I'm going to get to the roots of the problem here, right? All the bank system. It's a system. Now, it's not these individuals. It's the system that's the problem. Because the individuals, they come and go, right? And these things, they change names once in a while, right? Wells Fargo, I think they're going to be changing their names soon. They get a bad name, they get a bad reputation. Right? Bank of America, too. So, what do we want to do? And this is what I suggest. We've got all these issues. They're separated by people. And these are the branch issues. These are all the issues that affect people, that are where the rubber hits the road in this economy, and where the injustice is, and where the pain is. And so there's organizations built up around every one of those issues, and sometimes multiple organizations for one issue. But they're all separated, and here we got this lever, monetary reform out here. Very little political action on that lever, although we've had some miraculous action on that at the end of that lever. But we need more political action out here. And so what I suggest is, let's collect those issues together, right? Because they're all asking for two things. Every one of those issues is looking for government action and government funding. I can't think of one that isn't. Can you? Anyway. Let me go.
Protection.
Huh?
Government protection.
Government protection. Jamie had given me a whole thing about what the speakers wanted speakers to do, but my memory, I'm afraid, is not up to par. I'll have to do the best I can. But wanted to talk about next steps and what my next steps are. And of course, one of mine is complete the money story thing that I want to put out there. But I think we need to do online programs on the money system, and we need podcasts, and we need a regular thing every week. Every week we need a program out there with new stuff. Bob also mentioned, articles that are keep them short, but hammered every week. And I wanted to include the subsystems here, because these are, again, the branch issues. They're the ones where the pain is and where people are organized around issues from here. Energy and agriculture, of course, that's environment and climate change and all that kind of stuff. And healthcare and education, a lot of that is the social justice issues. And so we should be tying our money system solution to solving all of those people's issues, right? and so that they can see and support possibly the monetary reform. And of course, we could, I'm not sure where I can get seed funding, but online solicitation, once we have a program running, we would probably be able to solicit some donations that way. And thank you, Steve, for getting us involved in doing this. I think that's all I have to say.